Welcome to the VEX Robotics Competition referee training videos designed for both referees and teams.
This is Chapter 6, Scoring Rules.
Scoring is one of the primary jobs of a VRC referee, so it's important for a ref to know all of the possible scoring scenarios and corresponding point values. In this video, we'll discuss the 3 ways to score points in VRC Turning Point, as well as some of the changes to scoring for the Robot Skills Challenge. Scoring Method 1, Caps. There are 8 caps available on a Turning Point field. They have a red side and a blue side and can be used by either alliance. The simple way to think about scoring caps is to look at which side is facing upwards. However, if there is a close call, the more accurate way is to look at the core. The core is the cylindrical protrusion on either side of the cap. To be considered low scored, a core must be contacting the foam field tiles, white tape lines, or the platforms. If a red core is contacting one of these, that is, the blue side is facing up, then the cap is considered low scored for blue and is worth 1 point. This cap's core is not touching anything, so it is not considered scored for any points.
To be considered high scored, the core must be contacting a post, and the cap must not be contacting any other field elements. A high scored cap is worth 2 points.
In both of these cases, the cap must not be contacting a robot that is the same color alliance as would be receiving points for it. However, if the opposing alliance is touching it, then it still counts for points. If the match ends with a robot very close to potentially contacting a cap, then a referee can use a paper test to see if there is contact or not. If there is not, the referee should give a thumbs up to make it visually clear to everyone that this is a legally scored cap. Caps can be manipulated by either alliance, which means that even if a cap is high scored on a post, it can be removed or flipped by an opponent at any time. This leads to one detail of cap scoring that referees will need to be aware of. SG8 Part B. Caps that leave the field during regular match play will be returned to the nearest foam tile, low scored for the opposite alliance color of the last robot to contact it. Any strategic, intentional, or repeated removal of game objects from the field would be considered a violation of this rule. This will most commonly happen when a robot is attempting to de-score a cap that has been high scored. When you see this interaction about to occur, pay attention to the robot's alliance color in case you need to return a cap to the field. This is also a great time for a strong verbal caution even before the de-score happens. Remember, strategic, intentional, or repeated removal of caps from the field is considered a violation, and warnings are the best way to prevent these violations. Scoring Method 2, Flags. There are 9 flags in a VRC Turning Point match, 3 low flags, and 6 high flags. Flags are scored by being toggled. Like caps, there is a simple way to tell which alliance a flag is scored for, and a technical one for close situations. The simple way is to just look at which side of the flag is facing towards the field. Is it red or blue? The technical way is to look up close at the flag's detent and pointer. When a flag's pointer is nested in the detent, the flag is neutral. As soon as it slides out of the detent, then it is considered toggled. If the pointer is to the right of the detent, then points are awarded to the blue alliance. If it is to the left of the detent, then points are awarded to the red alliance. Low flags are worth 1 point each. High flags are worth 2 points each. Like caps, flags must not be in contact with a robot of the same color alliance that would be receiving points for it. There are also a few other special notes that are worth discussing. Per SG7A, high flags may only be toggled by being hit with balls that are not being contacted by a robot. However, robot contact with low flags is perfectly fine. Since robots are not supposed to be vertically expanded when they're around the high flags anyway, this should not be a problem. See Chapter 9 for more details on that. And finally, there is an extreme condition that needs to be pointed out. If a robot forces the flag to pivot beyond its PVC structure, then the flag would no longer be considered toggled and would not receive any points. However, this should be extremely rare. Intentionally trying to force a flag into this state could be considered a violation of S1 for field damage. Scoring Method 3, Parking on Platforms. There are 2 ways that a robot can be parked. They can be alliance parked or center parked. The criteria for being alliance parked is that a robot must be contacting its alliance platform and not contacting the foam field tiles or white tape. This is pretty straightforward. Those really are the only 2 criteria. Note that this does not say that the robot must only be touching their Alliance platform. If they are also contacting the center platform, or another robot, or a game object, that is fine. It also doesn't say that only one robot can be Alliance parked on each platform. And, because the criteria specifically refers to contact, not support, the only test that a referee should need to do is a paper test in close situations. Each robot which is Alliance parked will receive 3 points. Of course, a robot which is parked on the opposing Alliance platform does not receive any points. Next up is center parking. The criteria to be center parked is that the robot must be contacting the center platform, not contacting any Alliance platform, and not contacting the foam field tiles or white tape. Again, this is pretty straightforward. The only difference between this and Alliance parked is that if a robot is touching either Alliance platform at all, then it does not count as center parked. As mentioned earlier, if the robot is contacting their own Alliance platform, then they will still receive the points for being Alliance parked. Like Alliance parking, there is no limit on the number of robots that can be center parked. If robots from both alliances meet the criteria for being center parked, then they will both receive the points for center parking. Each robot that is center parked will receive 6 points. However, robots which choose to attempt center parking should be aware that they are opening themselves up to heavy defensive interactions. See Chapter 4 for more details. Also, note that there is no bonus for center parking during the autonomous period. In fact, it's not even legal to try per SG3. Scoring in a robot skills match is exactly the same. However, since this field starts with everything turned to blue, the scoring is handled as though the robot is playing on the red alliance. See Rule RSC3. A team's score for their robot skills match will be determined by how many points are scored for the red alliance at the end of the match, how many flags are toggled to red, how many caps are placed red up, if the robot is Alliance parked on the red Alliance platform, etc. That's all for Chapter 6, but make sure you check out the rest of the videos that explore other refereeing topics.